You see a lighter? You see this bed. All right, all right, all right. Um, let the John pop up. How you seen all of them when everybody was on there, like on the lives? Oh, like the little friend John you had on there. Oh yeah, click that. Let me make sure I can see. I gotta chill. All right, I'm live. I'm live. The people, Brody. Let me see the yeah. Know how you had them on all apps, like you had the number shown. Yeah. Can you keep it down like that or no? Okay. Well, just to show me from back and forth, all right? You ain't gotta keep it on there. All right. You got what, Brody? Chris on there. Blair. Peace and love, man. Peace and love, man. We're gonna get into this specialty debt. Okay, man. About to unlock some shit that a lot of people not understanding what's going on. Okay. Um, First we're gonna start off with my favorite. Okay. We got two favorites right now. We're gonna start out with New Jersey. Okay, public law. Let me see if we can bring it up. Matter of fact, bro, can we bring it up? The public law for New Jersey, besides that specialty, real quick, so they can see how public records are public property and are held in trust for the citizens. Okay. Public law 1953. Uh Show y'all how. We'll see, you know, how it was so easy to crack for New Jersey, How it was so easy to crack for New Jersey. Public law 1953C 41. State of New Jersey. Uh, well, you put New Jersey right there, so it should be good. Yup, yup, yup. Uh, just write it in. Write in public records. Keep that on there. No, keep it on there. Right behind it, space. Public records are public property and are held in trust for citizens. Y'all gonna see this right here, man. So y'all see how the state of New Jersey give it up, man. Let's see, was that public open record? What was that? Let's see what that on. The statute. Nope. Matter of fact, let me feed it to you so you can feed it to Rock. Should I text it or IG? I want y'all to get the direct law, man. I don't want to mislead. I don't want nobody talking about we out here selling dreams like these other gurus. No, we gonna let y'all see what they said. Uh, IG cool. All right, let me put it to IG real quick. Uh, Matter of fact, I got it on my IG. Ain't that crazy? I had to post it. So we gonna I created my own AI. So what we gonna do is I'ma send I'ma send my Brody exactly what we talking about, right? And then we gonna let rock. We gonna let my AI that I programmed myself. That's gonna be available soon. I just DM'd it to you, bro. We gonna let my brain that I call it break it down exactly what the state of New Jersey is talking about. So nobody's misled. I don't want to mislead nobody, right? Because we gonna get into it that these birth certificates and certificates of live births, right, are public trust records, and it's held by the state for the benefit of us, right? Not them. Okay. Um, I DM both of y'all. I DM both of y'all the page. Uh, did you get it? Let me see if I can see what's nice too. Yeah, your shit just slow. Big slow. While he pulling that up, right? That's what I want y'all all to write down too. IRS menu, because I see everybody. I'm still good on there, buddy. Yeah, it's still recording. Because I see everybody trying to take my IRS manual, right? Should I just send you the picture? Give me a head nod. Think I should have just sent you the picture, Brody, and not the post. Yeah. All right, I'm sending it to you now. Just the picture. I'm gonna take advantage of this. We can set these lives up like the podcast now, so we gonna take advantage of these Jones. You hear me? That way, it ain't. I'm not putting out no confusion. Got that, John? All right. While he pulling that up, I want y'all to got it. Bet. I want y'all to look up 21.7.13.3.2.2.2 parentheses, right? Turn the revenue code, right? Deal with corporations, partnerships, LLCs, estates, and trusts, right? When you go down to the estate side, it say estate, right? And it say requirements, right? It say the SSN and the ITIN of a decedent, right? Hold on, so you got it pulled up, bro? You can get close real quick. Um, right there, y'all. So the legal framework. Now, y'all see this? Move it over to the left. There you go, like that. Now, y'all see this, right? Public records, right? This is considered a public record. These are considered public records, right? Public records are public property and are held in trust for citizens. Okay, so we can't say no trust exists, right? So we know the trust exists. Now let's prove that the estate exists, right? And then that's the bottom line of everything, right? Now it says estate requirements. It says the SSN and the ITIN, right? Individual tax number, right? And it said a trust requirements, SSN, ITIN, or EIN, right? Perfect. Now it says a infant, a child, because that's what your birth certificate says. It say child. An infant is a decedent of an estate. Okay. A grantor, a owner, a trustor of a trust. So now you know again the trust is there and the estate, right? So boom, two levels, and we could have just went on the site, bro. You could have just pulled up the site because it was all everything we talking about on the site. That's the crazy part. We ain't really thinking for us, right? So boom, y'all know now you're in trust, right? And you do know now that an estate exists, right? But how are you seeing in this estate? It told you in a definition. It said a decedent, right? So in law, you're civilly dead, right? because one, an infant was incapable to act at this time, right? So you couldn't act. You needed a guardian or a fiduciary, right? Boom. Y'all see that? Let me get a little closer. It's a little small and shit, right? Yep, there you go, just like that. Boom, right? So y'all can see that. Boom, right? A state exists, trust exists. We got legal framework from the state of New Jersey, and you got the IRS manual proof. Okay, nobody can't say this is theory or we making this up, right? Boom. Now I want everybody to, people might can understand that, right? Now this where it get tricky. A public institution is considered a house, right? Now you can pull up the other one too, bro, right to the side of it. Can't you see it? Now that's the IRS manual, right? You could have kept that joint up there too, Brody. Yep. Now we're gonna go right to the left side because I want everybody to see this, right? And this what everybody not understanding about this United States and how this history went on this, right? So as you can see, get a little closer, Brody. Yep. Okay. Up just a little bit more. Just let me get the first part, the mother, father, informant part up top. Okay, so right there, y'all see, right? Registration, right? If you look, you got registered, right? You know your birth certificate was registered, right? Registration, right? Of births, right? The father and mother of the child, right? And in default of these, the occupier of the house. So, right, if we think about house, now let's think about ancient law, because I can't talk about this without talking about the Bible or the classical law and that divinity, right? In ancient law, a house was considered the kingdom or inheritance, right? Assets of the house, right? So when the child was born, right? So quote unquote, right? You be born in a house, right? You thinking in a house like your house, right? But now scroll down a little bit, Brody. Now, if you see in this definition, it tells you, it say a public institution as defined in regulation number 8 is to be deemed a house, right? So a public institution, school, house. That's why you can't tell them what to do, right? Hospital, where the birth certificate was created, the creation, a house. Okay? Think about that. Jail, a house. Okay? Anything that deals with an institution, that's why all these institutions are in control of the people or in control of the family, right? Because the institution is considered a house. So if a baby is born in that house, right? Think about it. Who's gonna have jurisdiction over it, right? And we gotta understand estates deal with identity, lineage, right? And birthright, right? And a state, right? So your estate is your birthright, right? Your house is your birthright. Your kingdom is considered your birthright, right? Now I want y'all to understand that, right? Now, and these houses was called fundlings, right? These infant was found exposed, right? And they was found by the registrar or a public institution. And these was charitable things that they were doing, right? So they wasn't taxed as they make profit off of this, right? So think about it like this. If 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 you born into a trust, right? If you born into a estate trust, right? And people don't understand it on what they did to us and whatever, right? Get a little closer, Brody. As this first part, as you can see, right? As this acts provide issue with respect of a certain admitted to the fundling hospital of a shortened form birth certificate. A shortened form birth certificate, right? So I want y'all to understand. It's getting deep, right? Now, who's in charge of them, right? Governors, guardians, hospitals, right? Of deserted young children. Deserted young children. That means when mommy's going to the hospital, right? In ancient England, hospitals was considered like you abandoning something, right? You can go abandon it and not be charged, right? And they're creating a hospital to take on kids and make them wards of the state now, right? That's what we understand. You're a ward of the state legally, not you physically, but the estate is, right? And the body, the estate is the corpus, right? Your body is the corpus, so it's attached, right? So corpus and income, that's what you got, two part of the estate, right? Now, so you can see, right? Now scroll down, Brody, to the second part. This is where it get ugly at. And this is what everybody not understanding about the security laws, right? Now look, it says, uh let's start at the corporation to give each child admitted into the hospital a new name, right? So to get each child in the hospital, right, with the birth certificate, a new name and surname. And as to hide the secret of the mother, it was also their practice to give a pledge, okay, not to disclose her identity to the child, any other person, okay? Want y'all to understand that. So this is a pledge. This is what everybody need to understand. So everybody keep talking about securities. A security ain't nothing if something's not pledged. Before security gotta happen, something has to get pledged. Okay? So you gotta understand when I teach, I tell people we dealing from pledging law, insurance, right? Trust in the state. And that's what you gotta understand, right? Now, so you see the pledge has happened. So when the pledge happened, in return, when you pledge, they give out a security for the debt. Now, this is just security for the debt, right? These is just securities for the debt. And we're gonna break that down now. Okay. Now you can pull up the specialties for me, bro. Now we're gonna go deep in what I wanted to talk about so much. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's not understanding what the fuck's going on. And I really got the remedy. People could listen up or they not, right? So this is equity case, right? My screen still say the other one. My screen still got up the Foundling Hospital. You heard, Ty? My screen still show the Foundling Hospital. I guess it ain't sharing the other one. We gonna get into this specialty on the seal, and I'm gonna crack the code on everything, all the instruments we got, so y'all can understand that. There we go. Yep. Now get a little closer for me, please, brother. Okay. Now look at this, y'all. Debtor and creditor, specialty debt, right? An acknowledgement of debt by deed. Listen to this. An acknowledgement of debt by deed, right? So everybody understand how I be like executorship, executor deed, and reconveyance, and make sure you turn everything into a deed before you convey it, and make sure you do the certification of acknowledgement before you convey it, right? So we understand now we must take an acknowledgement of this, right? We must have the acknowledgement of this, right? We must make the acknowledgement, right? So if you can see, mines will say, okay, duly authorized to take and clarify said proof of acknowledgement or affidavit as well to take and clarify the proof of acknowledgement of deeds for the conveyance of lands, tenements, hereditaments in their instrument. Okay, so this is you have to acknowledge the debt. This is a debt to the corporation, as we gonna see, a specialty one, right? Under seal, under seal, right? Under seal, right? Let me block out my number, right? Under seal. It's a seal back there, right? So boom, under seal, right? Under seal. So we know now in the United States and under the law of merchant and this custom laws that, oh, we dealing with ancient times. So we dealing with this something called a specialty debt, right? So scroll down just a little bit for me, Brody. Okay. Come out just a little bit. Yup. Scroll down some more for me. Keep on going. Keep on going. Um, Yep. Keep on going. Here we go. Coming down. Yep. Right there. The acknowledgement. Right. Yep. Right there. Okay. Now the acknowledgement of a debt by an instrument. Now listen what it just said. By instrument, listen what it said. This them and the clerk. Y'all know the clerk of the bank, right? Clerk, right? Acknowledgement or affidavit of well to take and clarify the proof of acknowledgement of deeds for the conveyance of lands, tenements, and herediments in their instrument. In their instrument, right? In their instrument, right? So acknowledgement of debt is a debt by an instrument. Okay? By an instrument. These are these in commerce, these are instruments. By an instrument. By an instrument under seal, right? By an instrument under seal, right? Okay, converts it into a specialty debt. Okay, for the purpose of the deed is to acknowledge the debt. The form of the deed is a immaterial. What did it say, bro? Immaterial. Get a little closer to that. Of all the necessary to constitute a specialty debt, is that should be evidence with the solemn. So now look. Now I want y'all to go get y'all authenticated one, right? Go get your authenticated one. You're gonna see the solemn acknowledgement, right? This thing right here, right? Where they testify and they put another seal. You see, another seal. So when we start waking up and we see, look, everything they doing to us, right? It's called a specialty debt under seal. Okay, and with this specialty debt, right? It bonds the heirs, it bonds the beneficiaries, right? Because as the heir and beneficiary, you were supposed to appoint an executor, and your executor was supposed to settle the obligations of the estate, right? Meaning, reconvey, reconvey your debts, right? You got a couple. They milking you, right? Reconvey your debts into a private trust and settle the account. Okay? By deed. By deed. Okay? Constitute a specialty debt, right? That should be evidence with the solemnity which though the law attaches to this sealed instrument. And this is proof, right? This is the proof. Right? Now look on my corner of mine say, look, this is certified that the above is correctly copied from a record that's on file in the office. So the original record, the original deed, which is a security, this is evidence that the pledge and the security in the estate exists. This is not the security. The security is the original one. Where is it at? In the register, in the cash register, on his office, right? So as the executor, right, you supposed to go get that. You supposed to handle all the accounting, right? Now think of this. Now in Turner, right, versus Worley, right? Okay, this is what we gotta understand. We pulling up. We're gonna pull up. This is the case law, right? That's the case law on that, right? Now, all right, bet ready. Look, man. Now think about this, right? So the infinite state, right? When the kingdom is passed down, right? You go down some more, Brody, by the deed too, so they see his booth, right? Okay. A deed executed for the purpose of acknowledging the debt creates a specialty one. Okay. Scroll down a little bit. Okay. So I want y'all to keep seeing this, that now that's another two case laws right there, right? Boom. Now, this is why people not understand this, right? When kingdoms is passed down, when inheritance is passed down, it's passed down through hidden secrets that's only told to the heirs or supposed to only be told to certain people, right? You could check history. It's always how it was, right? For centuries, the acknowledgement that every child is registered as an estate ward of the state has been hidden from the people. Only those in position of trusteeship and administration, right, can can administer the estate. The secret is this: the name, the SSN are estate entities. Okay, as y'all can see in the IRS manual, right? These are not you, right? These are instruments that is attached to your birthright, your inheritance, right? God said, a great father leaves an inheritance, right? Do you think God is great? Do you think God is good? All the time, right? So you don't think he left an inheritance? And then he said, for his children's children. So you don't think my God was a good father and left me inheritance for my children's children? Of course. That's your estate. So now the living heir is supposed to be the executor and fiduciary. That's what we're not understanding. We're not taking ourselves out of the situation and administrating the specialty debt that we got, right? Because the specialty debt is like this. Specialty debt doesn't need no consideration, right? The seal attached with it is all the consideration it needs. Okay? And our debt is backed by the nation of the people. Okay? Let's let's make that clear. Okay? It's no money. Okay? The credit is backed by the nation of the people. Okay, just so everybody clear on that, right? So this is why we have what? Full faith and credit. Okay, we got full faith and credit, right? Now, hey bro, I just emailed you that. I DM'd you. Pull that up, Rock. I DM the rich of knowledge. So this is how we gonna know how we back up everything because everything's under specialty, right? Even the Federal Reserve notes. It's a specialty. Okay, you got signatures, just like the birth certificate. It has seals, right? Has numbers to be tracked, like the register number, right? It got where bank it come from through them numbers, right? It's a seal, boom. Okay? Under the new law, and that's why y'all need a new mind. Because people not understanding they're not competent. Or there's new customs. And they don't understand laws of merchant and how this works with instruments, right? Under the new law, the money is issued to the banks in return for government obligations. What do you think these are? What do you think these are? What do you think these are, man? I just what do what do we think the government Walmart? What do you think Walmart giving us? What you think Walmart is giving us, man? Right? It went down, Brody. It went off the screen. What you think they giving us, man? Government obligations, right? Under the new law, the money is issued to banks in return for government obligations, bills of exchange, drafts, notes, trade acceptance, and bankers acceptance. The money will be worth 100 cents on the dollar. Okay? Because why? Because why? Because it is backed by the credit of the nation, not the corporation, the nation. People, not persons, the nation. And it will represent a mortgage. What you think this specialty debt is? See? It will represent a mortgage. What you think this? What you think this specialty debt is? It will represent a mortgage. That's why I say on the back, this card belongs to the Social Security Administration, and you must return it when we ask for it. Because it's a what's a mortgage when it's not yours? You just got possession for a while. That's a mortgage. Okay? It represents a mortgage on all homes and other property of all, not some, because y'all thought, oh, because they white. No. Of all the people in the nation. That mean your labor. Okay? That mean your infant. That mean your infant is a decedent of it. Of course, okay? So we understand now. The credit is backed by the nation of the people. What's that? Your estates. Okay? Your specialty. Okay? Your specialty under seal, right? Now, understand that, right? In the Bible, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Okay? My people will perish for the lack of knowledge. Okay? Why nobody not talking about this? After I'm done talking about this, everybody gonna be talking about this. But we in 2025. Why nobody ain't change up the information? Why nobody talk about nothing new? Why nobody know about this? Because they don't got the knowledge. Okay? And law, if you don't know the name and the state is separate from you, the state acts as your guardian. They guardian, they don't really care about that. You the collateral. They gonna put your body up as collateral. They don't care about this, right? They're the trustee of this, right? As y'all understand. Okay? This specialty, right? So yes, right. Back in times, ancient kingdoms had secrets, right? And this is one of the. That's why they call in the SEC they call it trade secrets, right? When you listen to Christ, Christ said, "I gave you secret keys to the kingdom," right? So we got to understand that, right? So now, house. When we talk about this public house that we became wards and fundelings of, right? Every house, right, was considered a family estate. Okay, the lineage was considered your bloodline. Okay, so private law, your estates is supposed to be you supposed to record that with your private trust. That wasn't never supposed to be recorded in the public. This is people going wrong at. Okay, they leaving all of they debt because a debt is a credit or is an asset to the estate. That's what people got to understand. There's no money, right? It's all credit. So when you transform into that executor and you take over that house, all your debtors, your name debtors debt become assets of the estate. Okay? Now as living heir, the living you, because that name is dead. That's a civilly dead entity. Christ said buried dead, right? That you can now stop acting like and bringing life to, right? And you coming in the name of the beast, right? You coming in the name and the number, right? You coming in the name and the number, right? In the image of the beast, right? You have to bury that beast, right? You have to bury that beast, okay? And the living has to live. You have to. So now, what you must do now is what Christ did, right? He pledged the body. He nailed it to the cross, right? The corpus, right? The corpse, the body, right? And then he said, "Look, I'm gonna come back to life, right? And I'm gonna ascend to airship." And that's what we gotta do. We gotta transform from dead name. Some has to die, and then we come alive. We step in as heir and executor of the estate, the living heir. Okay, and your proper name, right? Your living name. You gotta see. You gotta come to class and learn about that living name. But you gotta understand. You have to be born again. That's when I'm at. When we understand all of this, you understand you gotta be born again. You gotta have your own private trust, and you have to take affairs of the estate, right? And that's where we at. So the specialty class that we got coming up is gonna teach y'all how to handle all of this, right? It's gonna teach heirs, even though y'all claiming beneficiary, y'all don't know heirs have obligations and duties. Okay, so you have a duty, you have an obligation. You must discharge this. Nobody else can do it. Okay, you have to discharge this thing called the specialty debt, and you got to understand every. Shorty calling me. My bad. Did it fuck up, bro? Shorty was calling me. Okay, I'm good now. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so this specialty debt